We have details of these and other stories coming your way in the next 20 minutes. If you stay with us, we are live on DSTV, channel 279, also streaming across the world on Facebook at TV3 Ghana. You can join us with your thoughts and comments. Welcome to the program. The Office of Attorney General is asking the Supreme Court to dismiss a case seeking the removal from office of a member of the Electoral Commission. The office also wants more time to file its legal arguments. South, the MP Roxy Nelson Dafiamopo wants the court to rule that Dr. Peter Apiahene cannot be a member of the commission due to his alleged affiliation to the governing NPP.
Despite being required to file a response of the case within 14 days, the Attorney General has failed to do so in more than 4 months. Documents filed in court by Principal State Attorney Jonathan Akwa states that this delay is not out of disrespect. He pleads with the court to allow the filing of a response. On the substantive issue, the Attorney General argues that Dr. Apiahene's appointment is not contrary to the Constitution. He therefore wants the court to dismiss the case filed by South Dai MP Roxy Nelson Dafiamopo.
Welcome to your Election Command Center. Let's do more stories on politics now. And sixth-term MP for Ascent Central, Kennedy Ohinejapong, is making his first attempt to be flag bearer of the NPP, but has shown glimpses of promises based on his performance in the superdelegate election. The following report has more on the firebrand politician ahead of Saturday's NPP presidential primary.
If politics is the platform for the gathering of all sorts, rich, poor, moderate, radical, conservative, and controversial, what you get is fiery competition.
President Akufo, member will show down. Vice President, member will show down. So, Mama chasing me agent. I'm not going to shut them. What do you embassy? What do you embassy?
The Kennedy-Japan story is the perfect one for the different spectrums of politics. Loved by some for his temperament and equally loved by others for his ability to connect to the grassroots and his common man rhetoric. A year ago, the Asindompim native and at the Saddle College old boy claimed he did not even want to be president. A few months later, he was throwing his hat into the race, promising to deal with unemployment, create prosperity from tourism, and run an efficient government based on his success in business.
An experienced businessman or entrepreneur, my experiences I'll bring you to bear because I have sat down, carefully analyzed the situations and the challenges of this country. And I know that there are 3 key areas that if we use that, we can change the fortunes of this country. That is patriotism, honesty, and discipline.
The Fordham University dropout believes that he has the best track record to tackle the most pertinent issues in the country. A self-described hustler, he says he made his fortune off the streets of Germany and United States, where he facilitated the American dream of many through the visa lottery scheme and ran a taxi business. Kennedy-Japan is a strong advocate for what he calls a common-sense approach to governance, pragmatism, and abhors the proverbial book-long outlook to governance that he blames for Ghana's woes. In terms of dealing with unemployment, he has an ally in political scientist Dr. Kwame Asah-Asante, who, however, disagrees with his on the theory of how things work.
I consider sometimes some of the things that he says, yes, they are more, basic knowledge and very natural and all that. But he places emphasis on what practice, as opposed to a theory. But that one, I have a little disagreement with him, because if you go to Immanuel Kant, who says that theory without practice is empty, but practice without theory is blind.
Kennedy-Japan shocked his way into second place in August during the superdelegates election. The polls still look good for him. Some say his performance in August accounts in part for Alan Chemating's withdrawal from the race to go solo. Global Info Analytics Musa Dankwa says the polls from his firm looks good for Kennedy, even though he still trails Vice President Dr. Bawumia.
Surprisingly, Kennedy is leading at the moment in the Ashanti region. Yes, 39% to 33% in Ashanti region. He's in fact leading in the central region by huge margin, about 59% or so. in Central Region. I think he'll win Central Region.
Kennedy Agyapong has been chastised for his brand of politics, but some say his approach energizes the party's base. And this presidential primary is about the base, about the grassroots of the party. It is also the reason why many experts reckon Kennedy Agyapong will be formidable competition for Vice President Dr. Bawumia. Jugment Opoku, TV3 News, Accra.
Still within the camp of the NPP, flag-bearer aspirant of the New Patriotic Party, Dr. Owusu Efriye-Akoto, has urged delegates voting in this Saturday's NPP's presidential primary not to be swayed by office, but vote for him based on his vision for the party and the nation. Addressing the media in Accra to wrap up his campaign, he acknowledged the low morale in the party and promised to ensure unity and even bring back aggrieved persons who have left the party.
Dr. Owusu Efriye-Akoto has wrapped up his campaign 3 days to the election after months of touring the country to canvass for votes. He thanked delegates and his team members for a successful campaign, touting his conduct during the campaign.
I have conducted the most issue-based campaign so far. I have been very careful not to offend any member of our party in the course of my campaign. This approach has been followed strictly by my campaign teams around the country, and I'm very grateful to them. With my coming victory, which is almost certain for Saturday, we desperately need unity within our ranks and outside our ranks if we are to break the 8.
The flag-bearer aspirant says the November 4 election is not a make-or-break issue, but vision.
The current low morale in the party require drastic reforms and urgent introduction of new approaches to give hope to our activists in particular. My vision for the nation is by now well known to all Ghanaians. It is to give priority to agriculture in the allocation of public resources to support both small and large-scale farmers, to generate the needed resources to fund our economic development.
He pledged to boost enthusiasm and potentially bring back disgruntled members who have left the party.
Those disenchanted with what is happening in the party to the extent that they've had to leave this party. If I become flag bearer from Saturday, I'm going to invite everybody to come back. In the course of our interaction with the delegates, we have learned a lot about the needs and aspirations of our members on the ground.
He appealed to delegates to give him their vote on Saturday.
My appeal at this stage, late stage it may be, is that you delegates should not be tempted by offers which may provide a one-day relief and leave our party in the sand. Think of our history, our traditions, and past victories, and the great sacrifices of our forefathers, and vote Akoto.
Evelyn Tinkma, TV3 News, Accra.
Spokesperson of the majority MP supporting the Vice President, called Vincent Asifua, says majority MPs who previously supported Alan Kyerematen have switched to vote for Dr. Bawumia in the party's November 4 presidential primary. He spoke to my colleague, Komla Kluche.
I don't think that there's any dictionary as far as Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia that you are going to find fair delegates in there, because the delegates are going to be truthful to Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. I have had personal discussions with Honorable Sly Tete. In fact, he was in my house on the 20th of October. I remember the day very well. Around 9:30 p.m. to about 11 p.m. And you could see his commitment to the cause of Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. That same day, I was with Carlos Ahenkwa in my house. You could also see his commitment to the cause of Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. And those who were saying that they were for a particular candidate or a certain candidate are now telling me that they are now for your candidate, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. Because these are people that I also look up to. They are senior colleagues that I share ideas and a lot of things with. But even at the time, they could not convince me why I should not support Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. But now they are telling me that they are now supporting Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. So clearly, we may not even get 100% anyway, but I think we are nearing 100% MPs who are supporting Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. At least those that I've spoken to. Yeah, because I think that there was even a statement from Abna Osiasari, who also said that the detour that have been taken by Alan Martin is not something that she supports because she's a true party person.
With our reporter's daughter at Vantage Point, trust us to bring you a comprehensive coverage of the election on Saturday. Away from election and political-related stories, Parliament has condemned the recent military brutality at Garu, which resulted in several injuries, and have invited the National Security Minister to brief the House on the October 29 swoop.
The youth did not attack the vehicle. The youth saw the vehicle and then escorted it to the police station. The youth, there was a crowd gathered at the scene. And then in the process, we were told some gunshots occurred. Mr. Speaker, let me put it on record that the incident is not linked. And I want to urge the national security to come again with their reason.
A narration of the action that the national security claimed was an attempt to retrieve weapons but left civilians beaten up and others maimed. Members of parliament are angry.
For what? What have they done? To identify a strange vehicle in my town and lead the vehicle to the police, they hand the vehicle over to the police? It's a crime now. See something, say something has become a crime. Please, with the greatest respect, Mr. Speaker, I think that the people of Garu and Ghana deserve better. If we are not careful and we allow people to disrespect the military, if we are not careful and we allow people to tread upon the might of the security that we enjoy today, the first people to be attacked will be you and I sitting here.
Because an incident occurs 3 days, Mr. Speaker, and then you come in today and you go in beating people, harassing them, doing all manner of things, and say you want to retrieve weapons. Whom are you looking for? How are you going to get those weapons if even you think that the weapons are there?
Several people from the Garu constituency are reportedly in the National Investigation Bureau custody. Attempt by their MP to visit them has proven futile as he was denied access to them on Wednesday. But the Deputy Majority Leader, Alexander Penyo-Markin, says the suspects are going through due process and must have legal representation.
I join my colleagues in their call on you to make an invitation to the Honorable Minister of National Security to attend upon the House to give the Committee on Defense and Interior a full briefing on the happening.
The Speaker of Parliament has been swift in his instructions.
I am directing that the Minister appear before the House on Thursday, the 9th of November 2023, to brief the House concerning issues relating to the incidents at Garu and Timpani. We would direct that at least they should release them. If they have been incarcerated more than 48 hours, they should release them. And if they want to still maintain them by way of maintain them in incarceration, they should go to court and justify why they should be continuing incarceration.
You're still watching the morning news on TV3 with me, Godwin Asediba. The Member of Parliament for Boko Central, Mahama Ayariga, has petitioned the Minister of Foreign Affairs and Regional Integration and the Ministry of National Security for assistance in securing the release of some 7 residents and 2 communities in the Boko municipality believed to have been arrested and detained by Burkinabe military authorities after they had gone in search of their missing cattle. According to the Boko Central MP, the 7 individuals crossed over into Burkina Faso on Friday, October 13 to Bitu district in Burkina Faso with the assistance of the Assembly member for Kanyere, a suburb of Mogande, also in the Bitu district of Burkina Faso. Other claimants of cattle say they saw them standing with the Burkina Faso military personnel under circumstances that appeared as if they were being interrogated by the military personnel. The MP laments that all efforts are now secure to release of the man who has proven futile, hence the decision to petition the two respective ministries. Back here in the capital, the National Cathedral Secretariat has attributed the resignations of members from the Board of Trustees to fundamental disagreements over ideas and the approach to fundraising for the project. The Executive Director, Dr. Paul Opoku-Mensah, explained that doctrinal belief systems combined with ideological disparities were primary factors contributing to these resignations.
Reasons behind the resignation of some members of the Board of Trustees for the National Cathedral project have remained varied. However, according to the Secretariat, it boiled down to doctrinal differences.
That's one scenario, fundraising. There are 4 opinions on this, namely, let the state fund it, let no state funding, 2, 3, loan, no loan, only fundraising. And all these are entrenched positions with their proponents threatening to resign if their positions are not adopted. So there's one group who says, look, the church has done enough for this country. The state should build this project with state funds. And there are others who are saying, if the state provides more money, they are going to resign. Some will say, when God called them to ministry, he told them never to take loans. And so if this project takes loans, they're going to resign.
But the General Secretary of the All People's Congress, APC, Mordecai Tombiano Lompo, seemed unconvinced. He found the reasons given by the Secretariat untenable.
I think that as men of God, as opinion leaders in this country, this should not be of a big issue that you cannot resolve to come to a unilateral consensus. I believe that there is still more in-depth about it, not just about fundraising, because that should not just be a reason why some of them would get offended and leave. Not until I get hold of the document that they want to give to us, we would not wholly take whatever they have said.
On the other hand, the General Secretary of the Liberal Party of Ghana, LPG, Jerry Owusu-Appiah, believes that those who resigned have failed in their commitment to God.
I think those who have resigned has failed God. I don't think they understand the word of God properly, because if you are a leader, if you have been assigned to lead the building of or the house of God, and you decide that there is so much controversy, so you have to opt out, that doesn't make you a good leader or a good man of God.
The $300 million National Cathedral project remains at a standstill at the foundation level, surrounded by various controversies.
For more news updates, the website is www.3news.com. My name is Godwin Asidiba. New Day continues shortly with Roland Walker and the rest of the team. Have a good morning.